This is a 2005 Prosharp AS 2001. We've got a figure skate in here which is 4 millimeters thick. With that, you've got the blade thickness over here set to 4. What that does, it moves this portion in and out, which is actually moving the wheel, grind wheel, with respect to the blade. Now if you take out the 4 millimeter blade, you put a 3 millimeter hockey blade in here like this, you've got to go ahead and it's a different thickness. So on this older model, it doesn't have a self-centering clamp. So what happened is the center of this is now a little bit this way compared to the center of the thicker blade. So this has got to be turned inward. So this actually going from 4 to 3, that's a millimeter, but it's really moving this a half a millimeter. So this is spring loaded through here, and it moved the wheel over, so it'll be centered on here. Now I don't have the, right now I've got the dresser off here just playing around. This bolts onto here, and this is moved back and forth like this, and then there's the diamond that's under here. Then this is the original dresser they've had for a long time. The diamond looks like this, screws in. When it gets worn down, it gets to be about like this. This is the more advanced one that comes in the newer units. It's called a Z channel. This bolts in. It's also available as a retrofit. What it does is you can lift this up and use it in the conventional way where you completely dress the wheel to be a radius of hollow. You can also have it to where you've got small, medium, large, where you lift this up and put it over, and what that does is it goes through and dresses a just on either side of the wheel, and you have a raised bump in the middle which creates the slot for the Z channel. And I was just swapping this around because I bought this as a retrofit and I happened to have this off, so I wanted to show you what that looked like. So the Z channel can be used just like the old conventional one, where you rotate this back and forth to dress the wheel, create a radius of hollow, or it can be used where you go through and you define the width of the channel, and that's the Z channel. Here's a small, medium, and large, depending on where the setting is of this screw, because you lift this up to go around it. And so what you're doing is you're making a zone where you're not putting a radius, so you'll have a raised bump on here. And then the radius of hollow on here is dependent on where the sled is with respect to the wheel. And so you've got a setting here with respect to this of 1/4, 5/16, all the way through. There's 1 1/2. And so that cuts the different radius of hollow. So the position of this 4 1/2 with respect to the wheel is via the scale that's on here. The newer version, the SC, this has got a self-centering clamp on here, so you're not using this type of knob. I think that's just more like an alignment feature. The older ones that have been around for decades, this is the blade thickness. And again, what you're doing on here, if you turn this to 4 on here, this is actually moving this piece with respect to the frame in and out. This is spring loaded, so this wheel is moving back and forth this way, this whole mechanism, with a big spring that's in here. And then this is the blade thickness setting. Then you can use a gauge here to measure the thickness of the blade, which looks like this down in here. Typically figure skates are around 3 and hockey skates around through 3 millimeters, 4 for figure skates, 3 for hockey. There are some really low-end figure skates that have 3 millimeter blades. And this is a 2005 model Prosharp AS 2001. The control's a little bit different than the newer ones. Then there's actually a version that's, I don't know if it's between the two, has even a different set of knobology on it.